How's it going, guys? The Beverly Hillbilly here, and today I have something really special and a little bit different, something that I've become really excited about over the past few days. I am here to present a Last in Line miniseries special for Garry's mod. This is a game I got sometime over the summer from a friend, and the game's just been overwhelming. I did not understand it. I looked up tutorials. They were ridiculous and not very helpful. Oop, hit the pause menu. And there was just a lot to it, so I spent a lot of time sitting down with it and finally figuring out the basics, and I'm convinced I'm not the only person in the world that has this kind of difficulty with the game. So I like to point out some very basic controls, very basic things you can do in the game, at least get you started. Of course, you have the WASD to move around, space to jump. So let's get into what this game is. It's really hard to explain. It's a sandbox game experience, and it gives you a lot of freedom. You have control over the laws of physics. And there's many different types of game modes that have been created by fans for the game, but that's down the road. Let's get started with the very basics of Garry's mod. So the first button, let's hit Q. There are many hotkeys to pull up special menus and do special things in the game. So let's get started with the first one, the most common one, Q. You hold down Q, and it brings up props and many different things. Now, here's something really important. Depending on how many Valve games you have in your Steam library, or maybe a common folder that this game will share with, you will see things for Half-Life 2, Team Fortress 2, Counter-Strike, and there's many other compatible games. And if the game is compatible with Garry's mod, it'll bring in extra material. As you can see, we have a long list of tabs up here. Weapons and vehicles and a whole bunch of stuff that we'll get to later. Over here on the right, you see tools. And there's a lot of tools. There's constraint, construction, and a whole bunch of stuff. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. But we'll get there. That's all right. Another hotkey, V. You click V, and we're flying. That's right, we're flying through the air. This makes editing and placing certain things easier. You click V again to go back down, but make sure you're close to the ground. Don't let you go and splat. Let's see. C. You hold down C, and you can pull up player models. You can make yourself look different. I have many mods. There's a lot going on here. Mods and other player-created content, something else we'll get into down the road. Let's pick a very very common model. And of course, you can't see it, but other people can. Multiplayer, again, we'll get to it later. Alright, so let's pull out an object. Let's click Standard Construction Props. Let's pull out, a cabinet. Now, if you've played Half-Life 2, you left-click on your mouse with your physics gun. See, physics gun, the blue one. Not the orange one. The blue one. Left-click with the mouse, you pick it up. And of course, if you let go, it goes drop. Oh no, it fell down. That's okay. We can pick it up. And if you hold E, you can rotate it. The direction of rotation depends on where you're holding it. Oop. Let's say you're having a hard time getting it to stand up, something like this. You will hold E, but while holding E, you will also hold on the left shift. This helps the object align with other angles in the world. So, there we are. We have it nice and level. Ooh. Let's put you back down. There we are. Look at that. Now, let's say you want to place it in a certain area. Make it look a certain way. Have a cabinet there. That looks pretty nice. Let's add something else. So let's scroll and find ourselves, a couch. Now, another thing that's important when you're bringing up props to the game, pay attention to where your reticle is aimed because that's where the object will appear. So to make it easier, I pointed the reticle at the wall so the couch is right there close to me. And let's place it right there. So we have a nice little corner of our, let's call it a shop. Now, I like these two objects, and I want to carry them around to a different spot. Now you could take this object and drag it over there, and you could take the couch separately and move it over there. It's a little time consuming. So let's introduce everyone to tools. So, you will hit 6 twice on the number pad. I have a different tool up. We'll get into that one later. Now to select a tool. You see over here to our right list of tabs, tools will be automatically selected. In the first section, constraints, go down to the W's, we see weld. Click weld. Don't pay attention to all these settings. Let go of Q. And as you can see, weld. And we have a grid. This grid, again, is from a mod. We'll get into that later. So let's weld things together. Left click on our cabinet. Left click on our couch. Now, these two things are welded together. What does that mean? Let's find out. Let's grab our cabinet. Check it out. Because they're welded together, you move them as one item. Even though they're not touching, they will still move around as one item. That's a really nice feature. Let's say you want to recreate a scene of sorts. You can do that and then place it wherever you want. Some people like to get into the game Garry's Mod and create worlds for role-playing. This helps with that. Let's say I want to put a lamp in. Let's make it nice and level. Oh, having a hard time keeping it level, so let's hold E and left shift while I'm using the mouse. And we put it down. Look at that. Oh. So let's see. Sometimes it's difficult to get an object to sit in a certain location. Because there's so many different things in the game, it can be difficult for some items to be close together. So if you have a hard time putting things close together, unfortunately you have to live with it. So now I have 3 items. They're unconnected to these, but that's okay. Because we can use our weld to connect. Now, check it out. We have ourselves a little set. Oh, that's awesome. And it looks pretty cool. We can put it here. We can go out to our lake and put it out there. Let's leave it right here. That looks like it's kind of meant to be here. As you can see, sometimes you can place everything a certain way and it may not sit correctly. That's because the game may have a hard time placing certain items up against each other. Again, you just have to live with it. Put you right there. I like how you look. So, there's our first little tutorial. For review, our Q menu, when you hold down Q, it brings up all of our props, and it gives us access to all the different tools. And click around, and you can click and bring out whatever you like. V helps us fly around. Check that out. Make sure you're close to the ground so you don't go splat. E, just like other games, it can help you hold, but only if the item's light enough. Ooh, here's something. Z. Let's say you have all of your items together, but you don't like that couch being there anymore. Well, Z is an undo button, but be careful with Z because you can only go one direction and you go in the order that you did things. So, our first Z undoes this weld. This sits by itself now. Oop. Look at that, that's very important. We brought that prop out and welded it before we welded the couch to the cabinet. So it's gone. So keep in mind the order of which you did things if you want to go back. Now we undid another weld, as you can see down in the right corner. It tells us about it. And check it out, disconnected. Let's move these things a little closer together. And then we can weld back together. And let me pull out the right weapon. There we are, and we're back together. Now, another little quick hotkey. Let's say you put something up in the air, and you right-click it. If you want to quickly unfreeze everything from the sky, click R. And it gives you a notification that you've unfrozen everything. And if you're playing with friends and want a cool skin, hold down C to pull out your player models. We talked about our physics gun, and we talked about holding E and shift. If a item is all out of whack, you pick it up, hold down E and left shift, and it'll help you align things with other, there we are, with different axes in the game. And we put props together. Check that out. Now, yes, this is only the beginning to Garry's Mod, but this is the beginning. We made ourselves a little corner. Like, this could furnish a room. So hopefully everyone stays tuned to the series. I'll be going over the very, very basics, bringing you all the beginner's guide to Garry's Mod that I could never find. Well, thanks for watching this little mini-series on introducing you all to Garry's Mod. You all know what to do. Like the video, tell us all about it, and tell your friends about us. If you have a friend, or maybe even you have Garry's Mod and have no idea what to do with it, subscribe to us and stay tuned, because I will help get you ready for the world of Garry's Mod. For CogWork Gaming, I'm the Beverly Hillbilly. Thanks so much for watching, and good night.